Hey, everybody, welcome. We are here to have a build day. We're gonna.
Yes.
Mike is back. Last time, if you remember, he did builds for the Rogue. This time, though, by request, we're going to be taking on the Ranger. Are we still going to level 10? Is that what we're going to do?
Level 10.
Nice. So we're going to build out the Ranger for Pathfinder for level 1 through 10 for two different types of builds. So, Mike, why don't you just give us a indication of what we're going to be looking at today?
So the request was kind of an urban versus wilderness ranger. So I'm looking at the two different types. How would you build them, to play a ranger in a town, and then one that's out in the wilderness. And they're both more support than mainline fighter or more mainline combatant. They're more geared for that support role. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people by default just cookie cut the Flurry Ranger, over and over
and
again.
I did not do a Flurry Ranger.
Yeah. I think it's cool because, it's just fun to explore different types of builds. And Pathfinder has so many different options to choose from and so many different build styles. So hopefully somebody watching this will get some cool ideas for their Ranger. If maybe they played the Flurry Ranger one too many times and they're like, I think I need a little change of pace.
Yeah. So these are a couple different kind of.
Sure. Why don't you give us a brief summary kind of the two different styles?
So I have the Wilderness Ranger is a Centaur Precision Ranger. And we'll go over why I chose Centaur here in a second. The other one is going to be a Gnome Urban Ranger, Outwit. I chose an Outwit Ranger because I wanted to see what was that all about. And it's a lot of support. The Outwit's way more about supporting the rest of the party than just getting out there and killing shit.
Well, as a almost always DM or GM in this case, I don't get to play a lot of these character classes, so it's always fun to go through them with you. Yeah. So why don't you show me a little bit more about these cool Rangers and what we want to do? So which one we start with?
I think we'll start with the Centaur, who I've named Sagittarius, which is the astrological sign based on, I think it's Chiron, Chiron, who was the mentor for Achilles. He's also known as the hunter. He was known to never miss. So that's why I went with this Precision Ranger for this build. And I chose Centaur because I wanted to do a little something different. I've never played a Centaur, but they're really cool. Yeah. And they're large, right? And 30 feet. So they're fast. Their boosts are strength, wisdom, and a free one, and they have a flaw of charisma. So there's not a whole lot there.
Not a lot of charming.
Not a lot of charm. There's like horse dude, right? Half horse. They have dark vision.
I know you love the dark vision.
I didn't even know until I was like, oh, dark vision, that's cool. It wasn't because they have dark vision.
But it makes sense in this case, seeing how they're forest dwellers in the deep forest.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then they're robust, so they can carry more bulk than their strength would normally allow. So that's kind of cool. And then the mount. Your equine body is well suited for carrying trusted allies. A PC can ride you if they are one size category smaller than you, medium size for most centaurs, rather than needing to be two sizes. So I did, like I said, this is more of a support ranger. So it will be a mount for a future build.
So you're later on in another build, you're going to build the rider for this?
I've already built the rider for this. Like I said, the support. So
can we call that character Flynn Rider? We got to call him. That'd be great.
That's a future one. We'll talk about that one because that one's cool too. So when I was building them, I kind of built them in mind together at the same time. I would make decisions, and then I'd go back and change decisions on this based on the decisions I made on that. Because it's more of the support role that it's like, okay, let's mesh these two together because they're a team, and Pathfinder is great about teamwork, right?
It absolutely.
So I'm building these two specifically to team with each other.
Can you tell us the other class, and then we'll
Druid?
Okay. So when we in a future video, we're going to have the Druid build, and that build will be a complement to this.
Yes.
Ranger. Yes. Sweet.
For the background, I chose Nomad, just kind of thematically fit. You choose two attributes. One must be Constitution, the other one Wisdom, and then the free boost. You're trained in Survival. Makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Your lore skill is related to one that you've traveled in. I chose Forest. Forest.
So you have
terrain.
like a terrain lore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And Forest just seems to really fit as well. And you gain the Assurance feat with Survival, which is really nice.
Or you can color this centaur as a tauntaun and make it winter.
Oh,
yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Until he gets cut open for Luke.
Well, yeah. That would not be so cool. But yeah, so Assurance, skill, feat with Survival. So you're going to survive. This guy just lives outdoors, right? And he can always find food and like just for the party thing, it's kind of cool right off the bat. So
well, he's large, so even coming indoors, that's the one challenge with being a centaur.
Yeah,
is that,
that's why he's kind of his theme is outdoors. He's a nomad in the forest.
The thing about it is, if you're playing a class that is irregularly sized, like if you're playing a tiny creature or a large creature, and many other creatures can get very big, like the barbarian can grow huge.
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
A lot of times
the giant.
as later on in the game, you can just get gigantic. So I mean, you know, as a game master, I'm a big fan of having a lot of space on the map for people to make changes.
I know.
And I think that if you're going to make a centaur, just, you know, get your game master's approval and just have a conversation with him. Say, hey, I just don't want to be always struggling to fit. And usually your game master is going to be pretty cool. If, you know, I mean, if he's not, then maybe the centaur isn't for you, and that's okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Level 1 ability scores. I went with dexterity because we're doing a ranged. It's a ranger. I personally like a ranger to be a bow.
Yeah, you want to do like a bow.
Archer.
Yeah.
Versus kind of the more up close two scimitar wielding, you know, ranger type.
A lot of the box, the nice thing about that is out of the box is that you get your strength added to damage, which is nice for you know, just for using your swords.
Yeah,
you know?
That is nice for damage. But like I said, this is a more support class anyway. So,
sure.
It's good to have the thing. And actually, because it's so mobile and it's going to be a mount, this is essentially a mobile artillery, mobile tank. Just pop, pop, pop. And with the precision, because I chose precision.
You mean classic like military tank where they're shooting stuff versus like
armored personnel carrier is what it is. Right.
For example, versus like some other character classes might be a tank, as in like they're there to hold spots.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Mobile. Strength, wisdom, the pluses and the minus on the charisma. For the background boost, I chose wisdom and dexterity. And then for my free boost, I chose strength because you do want to have some strength on there in case you get up close and personal. Wisdom because I want those will saving throws. I like those. Yeah. And it kind of fits the character as well. Dex obviously 4, and then intelligence, fairly intelligent. And
you get a little extra. I think you get 1 extra skill for that.
Yeah, every time.
So that's good to know. Unlike the rogue, which we covered last time, not all classes can get
everything. Yes, that's ridiculous.
It's super fun. Yeah.
The skill, I have acrobatics, arcana, athletics, the lore, medicine. Kind of fits, especially with that high wisdom.
If you can move around a lot and you have a battle medicine and things like that, that's nice. Yeah. And you can actually, and if you get in trouble, you can actually carry people out.
Yeah.
You know,
So society is and then just because of the recall knowledge checks and stuff, stealth, survival are the other ones.
Do you know
how
they handle the rules for Pathfinder when you are riding a mount that's not just
Yeah. So as a mount, actually, it'll go into, we have a feat.
Okay.
That because normally when you're riding something, it gets 2 actions and the rider gets 2 actions. With the feat we're going to take later on, you get, you only still get 2 actions, but your rider gets 3 actions.
Even if you're both PCs, that happens that way? Okay.
Yep.
So if you're carrying somebody, you're sort of giving up an action to have someone on your back.
Yep.
Got
You're
it.
basically adjusting for them constantly.
Understood. It's kind of like flight, right?
Yep,
Where you
yep.
always have to spend an action to have flight. That's a very standard Pathfinder thing where to get a movement bonus or an extra bonus beyond what a normal character can do, you generally have to give up an action to do that thing for sure.
Yep.
Cool. Nice.
For the heritage, I chose Fleetwood Centaur because they're going to be a mount, so I wanted them fast. Basically, your speed increases by 5. So
yeah, it's
35.
Basically, you sort of get fleet for free as part of your.
Well, yeah, and then you can take fleet on top of it.
I guess there's nothing saying you can't. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this rider and pair, they kite. Their whole thing is kiting. They cast a spell. He fires off a bow and then books 40 feet at some point, right? And then the caster lays down spike growth or plant growth or something to slow the enemy down, and then he just sits there and pegs away. I mean, it's built for a specific fighting style that needs a big map.
It needs a big map, yeah.
That's the kind of thought process behind this character. For the ancestry feat, I chose skilled herbalist. You've been taught how to craft healing remedies with a variety of herbs and plants. You gain the alchemical crafting feat, except you must select the following items to add to your formula book: lesser antidote, lesser anti-plague, and minor elixir of life, as well as a 4th first level common alchemical formula of your choice, which is nice. Having played with an alchemist, it's so nice to be able to do that.
They prepare these in the morning, right? So it's not like the alchemist where they can just quick build them.
Right.
But it is kind of nice because sometimes, especially if you know you're not going to have a lot of healing for that, or a lot of situations where you're going to say, I want to create so many elixirs of life. That's a very nice. Or if you know that you're going to be going against stuff that's poisonous, you can create extra antidotes. Or sometimes it's just good to have a good variety, just for that get out of jail free card. For
those emergency med kit, emergency med kit.
Yeah, as we know from playing our actual plays, there's a lot of emergencies, a lot of danger in those games.
Yeah, it is brutal. I love it so much.
Yeah, and I purposely make it just slightly more brutal because I know you love it. That's just for you.
Kill me if you can, and you usually do. You can use nature to craft an alchemical item that has the healing trait rather than crafting, and we will be leaning into that as well.
Oh, nice! Yeah, I like that they offer that, so you don't feel like you have to spread yourself so thin.
The class feat I chose is Monster Hunter. You quickly assess your prey and apply what you know. As part of the action used to hunt your prey, you can attempt a check to recall knowledge about your prey.
Oh, so that's super nice.
Yep. It's a free recall knowledge on something you have to do anyway. You gotta
especially
use that.
I mean, the idea of it being out in nature and having a high nature skill, odds are a lot of the creatures you're going to run into, at least especially early in levels, is going to be nature, and you're going to be able to get some insight onto. It's always nice to know the lowest saves or know if they have any resistances or anything like that, for sure. Recall knowledge is so powerful,
and so well, at least in our game, it's so underused. When you critically succeed at identifying your hunted prey with recall knowledge, you note a weakness in the creature's defenses in addition to any other benefits. You gain a +1 circumstance bonus to your next attack roll against that prey, and any ally you tell gains this same benefit. You can give bonuses from Monster Hunter only once per day against a particular creature.
Okay.
But it's like, once again, it's part of that. It's like, and I think you can do that as a free action. It's like, use fire or whatever it is.
Right. I mean, they're a little bit vague on what that means. And there are a few places in Pathfinder where they get a little bit vague on what costs an action,
because you point out.
Yeah. Point out is a specific action for somebody hiding. But I would say this would be a free thing, especially since you only get it once per day.
Yep.
I would say you get your once per day, you can do a shout out. Your game master might choose something different, but I would say it's probably a free.
Yeah. And that's kind of why I chose it. And then, like I said, for the thing, I chose Precision Edge.
For the thing?
For the Ranger subclass or whatever. You've trained to aim at your prey's weak points. The first time you hit your hunted prey in a round, you deal 1d8 additional precision damage. Precision damage is awesome.
Yeah.
But there are things that are immune to precision damage, so then you're not so awesome.
Yeah, like I believe oozes are immune to them.
Oozes, some undead.
Some undead, yeah. Ghosts, things like that.
Incorporeal. Yeah.
Yeah. How much extra damage do you get?
A D8 at 11 level it goes up to 2, and then 8 or 19th, 3d8. Like I said, dark vision, hunt prey. For those, it's the main thing of the ranger, right? Is their hunt prey. It's how they get it. They're all their goodies and bonuses against creatures. You designate a signal creature as your prey and your attacks against that creature. You must be able to see or hear the prey, or you must be tracking them during their exploration, which is nice. You can kind of pregame a little bit with that. So you can start the combat. Well, already have a hunt prey. You don't have to waste that action.
Yeah.
You gain a +2 circumstance bonus to perception checked when you seek your prey, and +2 circumstance bonus to survival checked when you track your prey. You also ignore the penalty for making ranged attacks within your second range increment, which is really nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Against the prey we're doing a far shot too. So it's, yeah.
Hey, we're going to have some, let's get there when we get there. Yeah.
You can have only one creature designated as your prey. If you hunt prey against a creature you already have designated, the prior creature loses the designation and the new prey gains the designation.
It's nice that you can switch it though if you have to, because sometimes you get like I think of like 5e's Hunter's Mark and you cast it. I believe they have to be, I think they have to be down before you can change it.
Yeah. And what if you're tracking something and you run into something else that's tough, right? You're like,
I got to switch it up.
Switch it up. Yeah.
Level 1 is a lot, but not as much as like the rogue, because the rogue has all those skills you have to go through and things like that. But still has some pretty cool stuff in it. And I like so far the idea of the centaur part of it. It's some cool, interesting options. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of ancestry feature we got going forward. So let's go to level 2 and tell me what level 2 has.
Monster Warden.
Okay. What is this?
Monster Warden is part of the second level of Monster Hunter, because that's the prerequisite. Okay. You understand how to defend against your prey when you grant bonuses from Monster Hunter. Each creature who benefits also gains a +2 circumstance bonus, either to their AC the next time the creature attacks, or the next saving throw they have to make against a spell effect.
Oh, that's cool. So it's kind of like it's almost like a built-in bonus to your die that you can use anytime, almost like the old Bardic Inspiration.
Yeah, kind of. It's just a little.
Yeah, and with the Monster Hunter, you can tell anybody around you about that prey, so you can have as many people as you want get that benefit in who is within earshot. That's pretty cool. And this one doesn't expire either. It's not like it's one round.
No, it's nice.
Yeah, a lot of Pathfinder stuff in Pathfinder 2 lasts till the end of next round. This doesn't do that. That's cool. Other than Monster Ward, what else do we get at level 2?
Battle Medicine.
Oh, well,
Battle Medicine. It's so nice to have. You have to have it at least once in a party. You just have to.
Yeah, multiple times is even better. I can't tell you that. I believe when I was playing a fighter, and there were 5 of us in the party, and at one point we were all almost dead. And that round, we literally battle medicined each other.
Yeah, so just get you back up,
and we all got back up, and we danced. We were just running around battle medicining each other. I battle medicine one person, and then another, and then they stood up as their turn because they were out, and then they battle medicine me, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, So definitely kind of one of, especially for a nature, for just the ranger, it just kind of really fits with the theme as well. Level 3, we get our skill increase, which I use Chosen Nature.
And then what do we got at level 3 beyond just getting that skill increase in nature?
I chose for the general fleet.
Oh, another fleet.
Say that 3 times.
Fleet is one of those feats that I see as a game master, because I game master a lot of games, and especially in Pathfinder, it comes around over and over again. I think it's generally just great because for every move action you get, whether you're striding, you're always getting that extra
Extra
5 feet.
foot. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and when you're tumbling through and things become difficult terrain, sometimes that 5 feet is a real benefit for a character to have.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, especially when you're not if you're coming from like 5e and you're not used to the Pathfinder grid system where you alternate 5-10, 5-10 going through angles.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it may seem like, oh, I can easily get there. And you're like, nope. Yeah.
No,
Unless I can't tell you how many times I've been 5 feet short of striking at somebody, when I'm like, I don't have a reach weapon. Shoot. So this is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of leans into the whole mount. And then you get your will expertise.
That's all of level 3. Mm-hmm. These are going faster than the rogue. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Level 4. What do we got?
Level 4 is far shot for the class feat. Your experience has taught you how to focus your aim at a distance, increasing your accuracy, double your weapons range increment.
And I think every range increment you take a -2. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So if you double your weapons range increments, that means your first range increment, if it's 100 feet, becomes 200 feet, and you don't have that -2.
Oh, can you imagine trying to run across a field 200 feet away and just getting peppered with this thing? And he just keeps moving back and back and back. Oh, you can snipe in the dark against some humans that can't see more than 20 feet beyond their torch. Just this 200 feet away, this.
Especially if they're having a torch as a tracker.
Oh my God. Natural medicine for the skill feat. This is where we can use our nature score, our nature skill rating for medicine, treating wounds, including the higher nature proficiency lets you attempt more difficult checks and stuff.
But I don't think that this actually counts for. Does this count for battle medicine as well? I can't because is battle medicine the same as treat wounds? I don't think so, right? So I think this is only for treating wounds, not for battle medicine.
Yeah, it doesn't replace medicine for use in other skill, other than the treat wounds, but for out of combat,
right.
It's good. And that's level 4. Level 5, there's always the big power spike with that.
Yeah. What do we got going here? So we got a skill increase.
Skill increase. I chose nature.
No, you didn't do nature for this one, did you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I chose survival.
Yeah. So
nature was the last one.
Yeah.
Ability boost, strength, wisdom. Do our first bump up to dex, first half.
Yeah, the half step for +5. Yeah.
Yep. And then intelligence for +2. And for the extra skill, I took religion. It's kind of for those recall knowledge checks. It's just one of those things where, since we already have such a high wisdom bonus, using a religion for the undead and a lot of other monsters, right? And religion's a big one for recall knowledge checks.
Yeah, there's a lot of creatures that use religion.
Yeah. And then now the ancestry feat.
Oh, okay. So what do you got going on here?
The ancestry feat, I took accommodating mount. Okay. You've trained to serve as a mount, but only for your most trusted allies. When another PC rides you as a mount, your expert coordination allows them to gain 3 actions at the start of their turn rather than the 2 they would normally have for riding another PC.
Oh, you basically are giving another character an extra action every round with this feat.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Like I said, it's very much a team thing here. You still only gain the 2 actions at the start of your turn instead of 3, as you spend 1 action keeping them balanced on your back and ensuring they're firmly mounted.
Okay. Yeah, I still think that's cool because you're basically giving somebody else an extra action every round while you're running them around the field.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine having a fighter on your back who can, you can use your speed to run up on somebody as your turn, and on their turn they can do intimidating strikes as a 2 action,
or if they ready a strike, right? So you can do these ride by attacks with your devastating.
Oh yeah,
fighter,
because they can take 2 actions to give themselves a ready strike.
So yeah, they ready that strike. You ride up, you get they do their ready attack, and then you can ride on. Right?
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that.
Boom. Ranger weapon expertise. Your bow goes up to expert. Trackless journey, which gives you, you're hard to track. You're always getting the benefits of cover your tracks in such terrains without moving at half your speed. So yeah, that's level 5.
Nice.
Level 6. This is really nice. For a thief, this is Swift Sneak, and you can get it at level 7 and at level 6. However, it has to be in your favorite terrain. When you begin your turn hidden or unnoticed by your hunted prey, that creature is off guard to you until the end of your turn. If you're in natural surroundings, you can avoid, notice, and sneak at full speed.
Oh, and that's really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a deer in the deer in the woods that's running through. Although the deer in Minnesota are loud, they go crashing through the brush.
Well, yeah, into your fence,
but that's cool. That so you can be moving kind of through enemy territory that is still your terrain, and you can be just almost unseen as you're flying through.
And you can sneak in combat at full speed in natural surroundings.
Right.
Risky surgery as the feat I took for skill feat. Your surgery can bring a patient back from the brink of death, but it might push them over the edge. When you treat wounds, you can deal 1d8 slashing damage to your patient just before applying the effects of your treat wounds. If you do, you get a +2 circumstance bonus to your medicine check. And if you roll a success, you get a critical success instead.
That's nice.
So yeah, it's like...
So you only need to get a success to get a critical success, and you get a +2 to your roll, which really means that it's going to be even easier to make it, but you start by taking 8 damage.
Yeah, but if they're at 0...
Well, if they're at 0, and they take damage, they're gonna lose 1 dying condition, right?
That's true.
Yeah, you want to be careful. Yeah, you don't want to send somebody to dying 3 and then fail.
So that's level 6.
Okay.
Level 7, we have our skill increase. Did I choose
nature?
Oh, nature. I moved it up to master.
Yeah, 7th level is a big level for getting skills for sure.
And then here's that incredible initiative that you mentioned before.
Yeah, incredible initiative is really nice.
So I took it here.
And what do you get? A +2 to your initiative roll?
+2 circumstance to your initiative roll.
Yeah, and that'll be for any initiative, no matter what you use. Because a lot of times here you may be using stealth, but you can also use nature as your initiative. Yeah. Like if you always want to be. I always try to talk my game master into using whatever my greatest skill is. Yeah.
As you should. That's why you do that. Natural reflexes, your reflex goes up, your perception goes up, and you get your weapon specialization trait.
Oh, cool. And what do the bows have for their weapon specialization?
You can pin your guy, which is cool. I just don't. It's not my favorite one. It's not like I like personally the hammer weapon specialization trait where you knock them prone. That's really nice.
But they get a saving throw for that one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
At level 8, Warden's Boon. This goes along with their the Warden's track, feat tree, I guess.
Sure.
You point out vulnerabilities present in your hunted prey, granting the benefits listed in Hunt Prey and your Hunter's Edge to an ally until the end of the next turn. That means your skill and your precision, right? Depending on whether you call out or use gestures, this action gains either the auditory or visual trait. You make signs.
Sure, that's cool.
Plus your gang signs.
So basically, you can hunt prey, and then you can use Warden's Boom to kind of grant that to somebody else as a second action. Nice. It's nice because you don't always necessarily want to map attack your target. It might be better to give that benefit to somebody else.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean. And you're giving, like I said, it plays into his support role. The skill feat I chose is Consult with Spirits, or Consult the Spirits.
Consult the Spirits. Huh? What does that allow you to do?
You've learned rites or meditations that enable you to perceive minor invisible spirits within a place. Choose nature, occultism, or religion when you select this. We chose nature.
Okay.
Nature allows you to contact spirits of nature that form leshies, who are born of the pure life essence rather than spiritual energy, and can answer questions about their natural features like the location of nearby water or plant life, Religion reveals presence of angelic, demon, or other spirits in service to the divine beings who provide information about sources of powerful life energy or energy from the void, sacred or profane influences, or the presence of undead. Occultism allows you to contact the lingering spirits, psychic echoes of the departed dead, and spirits from beyond reality who tell you about things like strange auras, effects, or the presence of unnatural occult beings.
So different depending on which one you pick. But
Yep.
we're going to go with nature here.
You spend 10 minutes and attempt a recall knowledge check with a chosen skill. The DC determined by the DM, usually very high DC for the level of the highest creature you might encounter in that area. If you're legendary in the chosen skill, you can use this feat once per hour instead of once per day. On a critical success, the spirits reveal themselves to you and have a helpful attitude towards you. Oh. Only you can perceive these spirits. They answer 3 simple questions about the environment within 100 feet, depending on the skill you chose and the type of spirits you contact. Their answers are almost always a single word, and their knowledge is limited to within their area of interest. Let's see. Success is critical, but the spirits are indifferent and may answer only one question. Failure, you're unable to contact. Critical failure, you contact a malevolent spirit. They're hostile towards you, though they may not immediately appear so. They answer up to 3 questions, but give you information that is harmful to you in some way as determined by the GM.
Yes. I will say I have not been giving you guys in our game enough negative information when you roll low. I've been just saying you fail. I have to start really implementing that more.
That's level 8.
So what do we got to do for level 9 then?
Level 9, we have a skill increase. I chose to do survival.
That makes sense. Master of survival.
Yep, exactly. And then the ancestry feat, I chose distant archer. You've trained to harry your foes from great distances, using your swiftness to maintain distance and keen eyesight to stay on target. You reduce the penalty for attacking beyond your first range increment by 1 to a minimum of 0 when you're using in the bow group. So even if I do choose to go from a very, very far away, I only have a 1 or a 0 to that penalty. So
that's nice. Yeah.
Really be far away. Yeah. If he gets distance on you, forget it. He's outside of the range of most spells. Yeah. Brutal. Nature's Edge. You always find weak points in your foe's defenses when they're on unfavorable terrain. Enemies are off guard to you when they're in difficult terrain.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like that.
And then your ranger expertise, things go up to expert, and your save DC goes up to expert.
Nice.
Little boost. Level 10. Our ability boosts, we take our second step in dexterity. It takes us up to 5.
Oh, nice.
Strength up to 4, just because if you aren't if you have to be in melee combat, you can actually do some damage.
Also, having that higher strength allows you to carry
more stuff.
Characters that have more stuff on them, because you have to account for not just the character bulk, but whatever they're carrying.
Yep.
So as a mounted aid, as a PC, having that higher strength is always good.
Yep, exactly. Wisdom, gave that at the second bump. And then intelligence.
You got your first bump for wisdom, right? You're a +1 for the half step, but you got the second bump for dexterity, which is really important for your archery skill.
Yep, and then increased intelligence again. And at this one, I chose occultism.
Yeah, because you have that ability to get the recall knowledge, and you want to be able to have from some options.
Yep, exactly. And this covers so many now, so many different creatures that you're like, okay, I can.
You got most of them. You got nature, you got occultism. You said you took society before.
Yep.
You took religion. So
Arcana.
Yeah.
Yep. And then for the class feat, I took Master Monster Hunter. Say that.
Master
Monster Hunter.
Okay.
You have a nearly encyclopedic knowledge of all creatures of the world. You can use nature to recall. You can use nature to recall knowledge to identify any creature. So he gets even more. You can basically do it on any creature. So you know what? I wouldn't even really have to with that. choose all those skills in like Arcana and whatever, because at this point in your career, you can use your nature skill that you have,
which is going to be higher than the rest of them, right?
Because you're going to so maybe to do recall knowledge on anything.
Yeah. So maybe you don't need to necessarily take occultism. Maybe you can
do something else.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Like look at your intelligence there. Something else might be getting up. You can get maybe deception up a little bit, or you can get thievery. I don't know if you need that for whatever reason. It's sometimes nice to have
crafting. Crafting wouldn't necessarily be a bad one either.
Yeah. Just any creature. In addition, you gain the benefits of Monster Hunter and Monster Warden if you have it on a success as well as a critical success.
Nice.
Yeah. So you get the critical. So basically, you get the critical success benefits for Monster Hunter and Monster Warden just on a success.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome.
And then for the skill feat, maybe this. So this was kind of fun. I chose this as kind of a fun thing.
I always got to,
because he's a monster hunter.
You actually have to have, some cool things. I think people do themselves disservices by trying to make every round maximized and not make their character fun for the whole build.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
You can use parts of monsters to aid in crafting. So it makes sense that I took crafting at that.
For sure. And if you don't know the Battle Zoo book on how to use monster parts.
You can use the body of a monster to help craft items using survival. You notice how we ramped up our survival instead of crafting for the craft activity when you do so. If parts of the monster body are valuable, you can expend them towards the item's raw material cost as well. The GM makes a determination. If you spend additional days working on the item, reduce the price using the monster's level instead of your own. So if you beat up a super high level monster, you can use that instead.
And what's nice about that is I would assume the way that difficulty classes work and things like that for items that I would probably, you'd adjust for if it's an uncommon or a rare monster as well. So, if you had,
absolutely.
If you had a very rare monster, their monster parts should be more valuable, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Certain items may require specific creatures in their craft requirement, which is an adventure hook.
Yeah. I will say, I miss some of the cool stuff in Pathfinder 1E, which had all the items for crafting outlined what they needed to craft every item.
Oh, yeah.
It was super cool. They would say these are the spells you need to craft. These are the material components you need to have, something of worth this. So you could say, you could
base whole adventures around that.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to make this item? You want to make this super cool thing? Well, here, you need to go here to get all these different ingredients. Right.
And the game master could substitute some of those items for other things for a story element.
Yeah,
instead
absolutely.
of just saying, instead of getting like a flaming sword, you need to get parts of it, something like the hair of an Afridi or something. Like that would be really awesome. Yeah. Game masters, don't be afraid to add some quirky, awesome, cool things to your game. Nothing a character likes better or a player likes better than to feel like they're getting a little extra by doing a little more role playing, like to reward them for that. So cool. Yeah, I like it. Cool. Well, that was level 10.
That was level 10.
So that is our wilderness ranger, a centaur. A precision centaur. So
absolutely.
Awesome. All right. If we will have that character and the next one coming up in a PDF that you can download in the link below. So I'll remind everybody at the end too. All right, so let's move on to the Urban Ranger. What do we got going on for Urban Ranger?
Urban Ranger, I chose Gnome.
All right, so for this build number 2, we have looks like we have an Urban Ranger. He is a gnome.
Yes.
So that's going to be a lot different than the Centaur for sure.
Gnomes, they're small folk, so they have a smaller stature. Their speed is only 25 feet, not my normal 30 that I try to get out of a ancestry choice.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, that's the same speed as like a normal human.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Their ability boosts and flaws, their constitution, charisma, and a free one. Their flaw is strength. So we will not be a melee combatant with this one. at
I'll be
all.
interested to see. Yeah, when I heard gnome, I was like, okay, that's interesting. Let's see.
They're special. They get a low light vision.
That's cool. Yeah,
So
no,
no dark vision.
yeah, but low light vision is still
It's still really good.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
For the background, I chose detective. So
Ooh.
urban, yeah. So an urban ranger, one that primarily lives in the city, is not going to be so much into the nature thing, right? They're going to be, and I'm like, okay, well, what would they be? What would a ranger do? A detective. They're going to hunt prey. They're going to hunt their thing. I played around with bounty hunter too as a possibility, but I kind of wanted to go detective. Like he works for the town, right, and ferreting out criminals and things like that, hunting weird monsters that get loose out of wizards' towers and shit. So that's kind of his role. That's kind of the theme I had going into this.
It's a kind of an alternative to the investigator in some ways.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
More of like a sewer diver. And once again, this is a supportive role. So you probably work with an investigator.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
As part of the party build that I would choose for this would be an investigator as well.
Okay.
For the kind of sneaky thing.
Well, I can't wait to see how you can support investigators in other classes.
All right. So for the detective, you choose your 2 attribute boosts. One must be intelligence or wisdom, and the other one's a free one. You're trained in society.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. Because of the whole urban setting, I wanted society as a feat or as a skill. And you get the underworld lore skill. You gain this streetwise skill feat.
Oh, okay.
So that's the theme, right?
Yeah, for sure. What's the streetwise skill feat?
Streetwise, you know about life on the streets and you feel the pulse of your local settlement. You can use your society modifier instead of your diplomacy modifier to gather information. In any settlement you frequent regularly, you can use the recall knowledge action with society to know the same sorts of information that you would discover with diplomacy to gather information.
Okay, cool. So if you're going to go and gather information, instead you can use the society role with recall knowledge instead. Mm-hmm. That's cool. I like that. Because
it's not a rogue and they have all the skills, I'm trying to get the most out of the skills I do have.
Sure.
For his role. So the DC is usually significantly higher, but you know the information without spending time gathering it. If you fail to recall information, you can still subsequently attempt to gather information normally.
Yeah, that's a nice
second chance, essentially.
If you're willing to spend the length it takes to gather information, you could do it.
The abilities I chose, dexterity, because it is going to be a ranger and it will be using a ranged weapon.
Yeah.
Constitution and charisma, they got that negative to strength. Background boost, intelligence I chose, and dexterity, obviously. The class boost is dexterity. So I went with a kind of a spread here. I got the constitution bonus, the wisdom bonus, a +1 on both of those. The dex is +4, intelligence +2, and charisma +2. So very kind of a more generalized, well-rounded.
Yeah, for sure.
Skill training, I took acrobatics, intimidation, kind of in the underworld, using that underworld lore. You're going to be dealing with a criminal element. So I thought intimidation fit.
Sure.
Medicine, because it's medicine. Nature, because it comes with the kit. But you won't have too much use of it. Occultism, I took I think more in the city as more of an occult kind of, especially in the underworld. More of an occult kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Society, obviously, and stealth and survival that I chose. Heritage, I chose Fey Touched Gnome. This is the one that's going to have a lot of spell-like abilities and spells and focus spells and things like that.
Because rangers by default don't have spells, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you're coming from 5e, it would be very confusing.
Yeah. Can I cast? No. The blood of the Fae is so strong within you that you're truly one of them. You gain the Fae trait in addition to the gnome and humanoid traits. Choose one cantrip from the primal spell list. You can cast this spell as a primal innate spell that will A cantrip is heightened to a spell level equal to half your level rounded up. You can change this cantrip to a different one from the same list once per day by meditating to realign yourself with the first world. This is a 10-minute activity that has the concentrate trait.
So once per day, you can change the cantrip that you have focused on or have access to. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, gives you some versatility, variety. It's kind of nice. I liked it. Kind of fit in with who am I targeting now, right?
Absolutely.
Kind of adjust your character. Ancestry, I chose First World Magic. Your connection to the First World grants you another Primal Initiate spell, much like those of the Fae. Choose one cantrip from the Primal spell list. This basically gets another cantrip. For the class feat, I chose Crossbow Ace.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm thinking city. I'm thinking gnome. I'm thinking a hand crossbow.
You definitely wouldn't want to have even if you weren't a gnome, you wouldn't want to have a longbow, especially in the city when you have volley. You're running around tight corners and stuff and firing into short alleyways. It's not going to be a.
Yep. So that's why I kind of leaned into the crossbow kind of build, kind of different from a normal ranger.
Yeah.
Your deep understanding of the crossbow allows you to reload efficiently while moving yourself out of the line of return fire. Either create a diversion or take cover, then interact to reload. As normal, you must meet the requirement for take cover, and you must be prone or benefiting from a nearby feature that allows you to take cover.
So that's kind of cool. So as a single action, you can create it. You can either create a diversion or take cover, and then part of that you reload.
Yes,
very much in line with
in the city, going around the corner, taking cover,
right?
Reload your weapon. Yes,
yeah,
and action economy.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting gunslinger kind of vibes in some of that. That's cool. Yeah.
Yep. You've trained. We've already talked about Hunter's Edge. It's the standard kit for Ranger, but I selected Outwit instead of Precision or Flurry. You are talented at outwitting your prey. You gain +1 circumstance bonus to AC against your prey's attacks and a +2 circumstance bonus to deception checks, intimidation checks, stealth checks, and any checks to recall knowledge about the prey.
Yeah, in this case, because your prey is probably not going to be like ooze. Your prey is probably going to be like the town thug or something like that,
or a thief. If you're after a thief, you're going up against the Thieves Guild, right? You're probably going to be more, well, especially in a city. I mean, you still are going to have your, monsters that break out of the sewer or whatever, but still.
Probably mostly alligators.
Yeah. And then
you get low light
and that's
vision, and you get that streetwise. Nice. So that's level 1. For
level 2, Initiate Warden. You've trained with one of the ranger sects known as wardens, who practice specialized type of primal magic. You gain one of your choice of one of your warden spells from the Initiate Warden spells. You can take a feat multiple times, get different spells with them.
Did you choose spells for this character?
I did choose spells for this character. And we'll go over the spells at the end because I have them all.
Sure, that makes sense to me. I like that.
They're all,
we'll hit that. With the spell list afterwards.
But I did choose Gravity Weapon. Which gravity weapon, you build up a gravitational force and funnel it into your blows, leading to more powerful attacks and blades and bows alike. Your first weapon strike each round, you gain status bonus to damage equal to twice the number of weapon damage dice.
Well, that's cool. So if you have a +1 striking weapon, that would be 2 damage dice. So you get a +4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
There's a little, it's more damage. It's like,
yeah, I mean, at second level, you're probably not going to have a +1 striking weapon, but just in general, even you're going to get a +2 at second level, which is still pretty nice. It adds up.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Eye of the City.
Eyes of the City. Yes, thank you. Prerequisites: trained in diplomacy or society.
Okay.
Yeah, you can track down targets with the help of locals. You can use diplomacy or society, whichever you're trained in, to track creatures in settlements. You chat with locals to help follow the trail of creatures you track. At the GM's discretion, there might not be enough people to speak to with the following to keep the following trail.
So it's you can track down targets with the help of locals. You can use diplomacy or society. Okay, so instead of using, this is basically substituting survival with diplomacy or society for tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's neat.
Kind of your prey, right? You're hunting them down.
Yeah, yeah.
in the city.
I kind of think of, like the folk hero role within town where you're talking to the locals and and getting the inside scoop on where the hideout is, where to find them. Yeah, for sure.
Level 3, the skill increase. I chose stealth.
It's if you're going to be in the city and you're going to be kind of playing a investigator type, having stealth to sneak around and look for people and look for clues and things. That's cool. Yeah.
If you're trying to sneak on people who sneak, you probably want to be able to sneak pretty well.
Well, yeah.
Also, with the high wisdom that I chose, he's got really good perception.
Yeah. That's important. We didn't talk about that, but that is important.
General feat, I chose untrained improvisation. You learn how to handle situations when you're out of your depth. Your proficiency bonus to untrained skills is equal to your level -2. This improves to -1 at 5th and your full level at 7th. This doesn't allow you to use the skill's trained action.
Yeah, but I mean, you get that's actually pretty cool for some basic things. Like if you don't have thievery, but you really need to lift something, you may have never been a thief, but at least you'll be able to add your level to the roll.
So level 4, I chose running reload. You can reload your weapon on the move. You stride, step, or sneak, then interact to reload.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really nice.
Just action economy. And then experience tracker kind of fits the theme. Tracking is second nature to you, and when necessary, you can follow a trail without pause. You can track while moving at full speed by taking a -5 penalty to your survival check. If you're a master in survival, you don't take the penalty. If you're legendary in survival, you no longer need to roll a new survival check every hour when tracking, though you still need to roll whenever there's a significant change in the trail.
You should be able to use your, if the situation allows you to use your society roll for tracking, you should probably be able to do it for this too.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So level 4, that was awesome. I like that experience tracker. Level 5, the big one.
Yes. As we know, skill increases society.
Yep. Makes sense.
The ability boost I chose, wisdom, dex on our first bump there, and then intelligence and charisma.
Yeah. Looks like we're following that repeat pattern for them. Yep, makes sense. And then what did you get for intelligence? You got a bonus there for diplomacy. Yeah. It isn't always the case that society will work because diplomacy allows you to do certain things like make an impression, things like that. That isn't society based for sure.
Exactly. And I do have a decent charisma. I have a +3 on charisma.
Oh yeah, it's definitely good to take that.
For ancestry feat, I chose energized font. Prerequisites of focus pool, which we have from our initiate thing. At least one initiate spell from a gnome heritage or an ancestry feat that shares tradition with at least one of your focus spells. You can focus your mind more quickly thanks to the magic that flows within you. You regain 1 focus point up to your usual maximum.
Okay, so if I look at this here, it looks like you can once per day spend 1 action to quickly refocus, which is nice because it is now, you don't have to wait the 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
And you can do it in combat.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Ranger weapon and trackless, the standard kit advances.
All right. Level 6. What do we
did
got?
Advanced Warden. You unlock more powerful primal spells. You gain a trace of 1 Warden spell from the Advanced Warden spells. And I chose Hunter's Luck. You have a preternatural ability to remember details about your foes. Roll the triggering check twice and use the better result.
Oh, so you basically get advantage. Nice.
So when you really want that recall knowledge or whatever, boom, you can have a better chance of getting it.
And this is, how often can you use this?
It's an advanced spell. It's a focus spell.
Okay. So you need to basically you have to have a focus point to use it. Got it.
And then it kind of ties in with the other one that I got, where you can, the ancestry view, where you can get them quicker. Underground network for the skill feat. It kind of fits the theme. You're connected to groups that know what's going on in the streets. You can get information out of them quickly. When you society or gather information in an area where you have a network, typically the settlement where you spend at least a week or so, you contact a member of these groups to get information directly from them. This usually takes about an hour, and it doesn't draw as much attention as gather information in public might. The check on information gained otherwise follow the normal rules for gather information. In addition, if you have successfully consulted the underground network, you get a +1 circumstance bonus to the next recalled knowledge check you attempt about the subject you are gathering information on, your prey.
Yeah, for sure.
Or a +2 circumstance bonus if you're using underworld lore, which we also have for the check. The GM might change the lore skill related to the network depending on your location.
Yeah. It's uncommon, but it's cool. Yeah. Most of the time, most game masters in most games I've been in pretty much allow uncommon. But again, talk to your game master to make sure that they're cool on that.
I thought it really fit the flavor of the character. So that's why I chose that one.
Yeah, for sure.
The skill increase at level 7 now. Took our stealth back up to mastery. Though there is an argument to do society as well.
Well, society would be good. I think if you were doing a lot of tracking, that might be not be a bad way to do it, because I think you can do some of that stuff. So I think either stealth or society in this particular case would be pretty beneficial.
Yeah, I think I like society better. Incredible initiative for the general feat. That +2 initiative rolls is really nice.
Yeah, for sure. I like incredible initiative.
And then the kit features for level 7.
Natural reflexes, perception mastery, which is so now you're getting a +6 to your perception, which is nice.
All right. So for level 8, Masterful Warden, which is the third level of the next step of Warden spells. You get a more powerful one. And I chose Soothing Mist. You call forth a magical mist that envelops a creature. The mist restores 2d8 hit points to a target living creature and ends one source of persistent acid, bleed, fire, poison, or void damage affecting it. If the creature is taking persistent damage from multiple sources, you have to select which one. Against an undead target, you deal 2d8 vitality damage, fortitude save. If it fails a save, it also takes two persistent vitality damage.
Nice. It's soothing.
It's very soothing. Very, very, And also, since it's a focus spell, you can help with like rapid rehealing if you're in dungeon or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. If you're going to take 10 minutes out to treat wounds for everybody, you can also do that and add some more for sure.
Level 9, our skill increase. So we're going to choose our stealth. It's kind of
so like one with society, one with stealth, and I think you can pick one each time. Either one really, it's kind of somewhat interchangeable, but stealth makes sense here.
First world adept for an ancestry feat. You have at least one primal innate spell, which we do.
Yep.
You gain a invisibility and revealing light as second rank primal innate spells. You can cast each of these once per day.
Oh, that's a little get out of jail free card or get into jail free card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If someone, you can either go invisibility to track someone, right? Or if they go invisible on you, you can cast revealing light and end it on them. So it's kind of fit in with the concept.
And you can cast each. You don't have to choose which one. You get one of each.
You get one of each.
Nice. Yeah.
Nature's Edge and Ranger Expertise, the standard Ranger kit stuff. And then for level 10, our big ability boosts, our dex goes up to 5, intelligence and charisma and wisdom also bumped.
Okay.
For the intelligence, I chose deception.
Okay. That makes sense.
Kind of fit in with the theme. Though thievery could also.
It kind of depends on how you want to play your character, right? Yeah. Like
I could totally see thievery.
Yeah, thievery would be good. Be able to break into places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that might not be a bad way to do it. Because I think you can also play this character like they might not have needed to deceive people if they can be friendly with everybody in town. But sometimes if they want to get into the baddie's house, they're going to need a little thievery.
Yeah, exactly.
So deception or thievery. Yeah, you chose deception here, which is still cool.
Peerless Warden. Initiate Warden, you get another Warden spell, which I chose Hunter's Vision. Your target glows with a magical aura visible only to you and to those who follow your lead. Your target is visible to you and others sharing your hunt prey benefits, even if it normally wouldn't be due to lighting or concealed or invisible conditions. Though cover and opaque objects still blocks your sight. You ignore the flat check against target due to concealed condition, and the target isn't automatically hidden from you due to darkness or being invisible. Kind of once again, following the whole hunting prey, the whole bounty hunter kind of thing.
Yeah, the nice thing is it's only you can see it. So
or your people.
Yeah, or the people
with you.
Yeah, but they have to be following you have to be following the expert at this point, right? Follow your lead. So they have to be moving through following.
So if you're giving them the edge from the hunter's warden,
okay,
they also gain the benefit of
seeing the peerless spell.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a duration of 10 minutes, so it allows you to follow people for quite a while.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's like, oh, we're following this guy back to his hideout. Is the kind of what I was picturing there.
Sure.
It's like, oh, okay, let's have him. He got away from us. Oh, did he? Follow him back to their lair. But yeah, so that's.
And then you have a skill feat. What skill feat did you pick?
What skill feat? Oh, Beaumont. They're trained in diplomacy, which we are. We launch into an insightful quip at a foe, distracting them. Choose a foe within 30 feet. Roll a diplomacy checks against their target's will DC. Critical success. Target takes a -3 to perception and will saves. It's very hard to get a debuff on a will save, which is really nice.
Yeah, especially if you're traveling with somebody who can do some will save attacks, for sure.
So yeah, almost fun, real fun one.
It is one, and it's fun to.
And it's a good debuff too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there is nothing happens on failure, but critical failure can hurt you.
Well, that's fun too.
Yeah.
Your quip is quite atrocious. You take the same penalty an enemy would take had you succeeded. It's like, oh, that's when you bomb your line. You're just like,
make like a tree and get out of here.
Cringe. That's
all right.
Cringe your dad joke.
Nice. And that was through level 10. And then this character has spells, right?
This character does have spells.
So what are we looking at for spells for this character?
So you can change these, remember?
Right. The cantrips anyway, right?
Yeah. Right now I have guidance and stabilize. Guidance is super nice, and stabilize can be very handy.
Yes, it can.
And then the revealing light and invisibility for the primal spell rank, second spell ranks.
Nice. That's just so that those are innate spells, which are nice. At this particular level, you have 3 focus points, so that's pretty cool. I like the refocus for the remaster where you just get them all. So that's pretty cool. That I like the fact that we had some different type of rangers instead of just simply being flurry ranger, right? And actually, precision rangers in some ways can be just all combat, which I think that there's some combat ability in the centaur that you put together. Yeah. So yeah, let us know how the urban versus wilderness support rangers did. You can also get the below. They will, I will leave the PDFs for the actual characters. So if you want to pull them into your game and use them as they are, let us know.
Oh yeah, please do that.
Yeah, let us know if you had a good time with it. Let us know how quickly you perished. All right, I think we had a fun time hanging out, talking about some Ranger stuff. We won't keep any longer. We have a lot of stuff coming up. Stick with us. Please do like and subscribe, and we will see everybody in whatever video we see in next.
And if you have any suggestions about the next class, I'm thinking Druid.
Thinking Druid? Yeah, makes sense.
Thinking Druid.
All right, we'll talk to each other. Yeah, bye.
Peace.